I sometimes I uh, milk and sometimes I drink only milk and I don't like coffee, tea, something not like that. Only
So
milk.
do you drink chai?
No, ma'am.
No. Huh.
No.
Shivansh, what do you like to drink?
Ma'am, I like to drink coffee, means cold coffee and tea.
Cold coffee and tea? Yeah. It's hot there, so probably hot drinks are not that great. Sir, what do you like to drink?
Yeah, actually, I like coffee, man.
Do you? And do you like hot coffee or cold coffee?
Hot coffee.
Hot coffee.
Yeah.
Very good. Well, today, isn't this a beautiful picture? Today we're going to learn about volcanoes.
Yeah.
And in one of my other lessons that I did early on, we talked about the difference between the English va that you use with your front teeth over your lip, and you kind of va. So when we say volcanoes, we're going to try hard today not to say volcanoes with the w sound, but we want the v. So can you practice that like v, v? Just you can turn off your microphones. You don't have to do it in front of me. But if you will practice making that sound, because that will make you sound like a fluent English speaker. So v, volcano.
Your lower lip should be touching to upper teeth. Then only you
Yeah,
will
and
be
you should
able to pronounce it.
v. Give it a try. That's why we're here. Manav, we'd really like to see your smiling face today. It gives me a lot of happiness when you're right in that picture. Okay, we're going to go on. I hope some more people join us this morning or this evening. So go ahead and go. Shivansh, what do you see in that picture?
Ma'am, I see the volcano, means the mountain has been blasted, and all what we tell lava is coming out from it.
Yeah, that's really, really cool picture, isn't it? And especially at night when you can see the fire that's coming out of that mountain. Very well said. Good job. Let's go to the next slide, please. So, question, have you ever seen a volcano in person or on TV? Manav, we need you. Shivansh, have you seen a volcano in person or on TV?
Ma'am, I saw it in both the time, when I was I was on my uh, mother's house. So from there we were going from a mountain side. So what happened? Suddenly the mountain directly blast, and all lava was coming from that.
Wow. So the question, Unati, glad to see you here. We are talking as a warm-up. Have you ever seen a volcano in person or on TV? My internet's in. Manav, have you seen a volcano in person or on TV?
No, ma'am. Only in YouTube sometimes. Only in YouTube.
Yeah, YouTube is fine. It's yeah, we can watch the YouTube videos. Today we'll be watching some YouTube videos. And what do we observe when we see a volcano erupting? What do you see? Manav, what do you see when a volcano erupts?
Ma'am, some little bit dust is there. Some rocks comes out, and the lava, yeah, magma comes out.
Very good. So when the
Lava.
magma comes out of the mountain, then it becomes lava. We'll learn about that. Very good, Manav.
And ma'am, I saw the reels I saw on YouTube that one person was there. and one volcano was there, and it is that magma was coming down, and that he was having one rod, iron rod, and he is having one bucket of water filled. Now then he was taking the lava, and he was putting that lava in that magma in a bucket. Then why they do like this?
I don't know if we would put magma in a bucket. It would make the bucket melt. It's so hot. But it would affect the people if a volcano came near their house, right, Shivansh? If the volcano erupted nearby.
They have to vacate.
So anyway,
They have
yeah.
to vacate
So
the place.
and yeah, sir, how would it affect the environment if a volcano erupted?
They have to vacate the place immediately, actually, whenever they find any such thing happening there. So the human cannot live around that area because we do not know what will be the intensity of that blast or how long it will go. Because maybe during the night time, maybe people are sleeping and the lava will flow in a large
So
quantity.
now people will know that the lava came.
Therefore, I'm telling now they will not even get the chance to know. It will come flowing to their houses even if they are living in that hilly areas. So the best precautions they can take, that it is safe to just vacate from that area wherever this the eruption of volcano is there.
Sir said an important word, vacate the area. And so when you leave the area, you vacate it. And another word for that is evacuate. So if there was a volcano coming, the people would come, safety workers, and would say it's time to evacuate, to go away. Okay, so let's go to the next slide.
Oh,
All right, so this was the most recent volcano. This took place in Indonesia. And Shivansh, would you like to read the caption?
Yes, ma'am. 13 climber killed, 10 missing following Indonesia,
Asian.
Indonesian Indonesian volcano eruption.
And good job on saying volcano using that English V sound. So you can see there's smoke and ash coming out of that volcano. Today we're going to be learning that there's 3 different kinds of volcanoes. Not all volcanoes will have smoke and ash. So let's go to the next slide.
Ma'am, what is ash?
Ash would be after you've had a fire, what's left in the fireplace. It's like
in Hindi we call it rakh. After the everything is burned, what is remaining? That is ash. You know rakh. After
I know, sir.
that is called ash.
Yeah, very super. Okay, so Manav, if we could see your face, I would really like it. Unnati, if you can see your face, we'd like it. If you can get, and just, it makes a difference, you know, because we're all here together. So Sartak, would you like to read this news report? It's from Jakarta, Indonesia. Or anybody? Sartak, can you read that?
Yes, ma'am. Jakarta, Indonesia, December 4, 2023. 13 climbers have died and another 14 are missing in Indonesia following the eruption of highly active volcano is in the province of West Sumatra, officials said on Tuesday. Located on the Pacific Ring of Fire, Indonesia has 127 active volcanoes, more volcanoes than anywhere else in the world, and Mount Merapi is among the country's most active. The 2,891 meter high, 9,500 feet volcano erupted on Sunday, sweeping volcanic ash and sending giant plumes of smoke into the sky.
So plume being a big cloud that goes up at a pointed plume. So sir, can you click on the news report, please? That should be a live video of the news report.
This one.
I hope that'll come through for us.
Because there are so many videos here, Ring of Fire, then active.
Yeah, not those, but just the bottom one.
Okay.
Namaste. Dreaming about reaching the top is one thing, and actually reach.
A volcanic eruption has wreaked havoc across Indonesia's East Java province. Rescuers have been racing against time to find survivors as the death toll from the disaster continues to rise. Villages remained engulfed by cold lava and ash. Drone footage revealed the scale of devastation. The eruption of Mount Semeru has destroyed farms and homes. The Indonesian president visited the disaster-hit site and vowed to relocate at least 2,000 people.
We hope that after everything has subsided, that everything can start fixing infrastructure or even relocating those from the places we predict are too dangerous to return to. Just now, I received a report saying that around 2,000 families need to be relocated immediately, and we will decide where they will be relocated after everything is ready.
The eruption has forced thousands to flee and take shelter in makeshift camps. Authorities remain on alert. There are fears that heavy rains can cause ash sediment to form a new river of hot lava. Earlier, search and rescue operations were halted due to the poor weather. But now residents have started returning to their villages to look for missing relatives. They say that the eruption took them by surprise.
No one expected the lava flow would go through this area. It should have been through the river over there, but the embankment collapsed, so the cold lava overflew here.
Meanwhile, the volcano continues to spew ash. Semeru erupted on the 4th of December. However, authorities have been monitoring seismic activity at the site. For many, the disaster has brought back the memories of Semeru's last eruption in 2020. Indonesia, which sits on the Pacific Ring of Fire, is prone to natural disasters. The meeting of continental plates leads to high volcanic activity.
Okay, so that's really sad news. Thousands of people had to relocate.
Now available in your country.
Okay, so we can be done with that. Thank you. Okay, let's go to the next slide, please. So today, I thought it would be fun for us to get hints in English and see if you can come up with a word for landforms. So this is kind of a challenge for you. So let's go to the next slide. I'll read this who am I, and then as soon as it comes to your brain, you can just call it out. So who am I? I am a tall landform. Sometimes hot lava comes out of my top, and you can blurt it out.
Mountain.
Volcano.
Mountain.
Yes. Okay, let's go to the next slide. A volcano. Lava comes out of the top of a volcano. Let's go to the next slide. I am a body of water. My water starts at the top of a high cliff, then drops to a body of water further down. What am I?
Sea.
A waterfall.
Waterfall. Yes, let's look at the next. Next slide, please.
Yeah.
There's a waterfall. And it's just like it sounds. Next, I am an area of land. I have water on all sides of me.
Island.
Island.
Good.
Island.
Okay, let's look at the next slide. And you're right, it's an island. I am a low area. I am in the middle of two tall mountains. What am I?
Plateau. Plateau.
A valley? Did you say valley?
Yeah, valley also.
Yes.
Okay, let's see the
Yes,
next
Mama.
slide. See if you're right.
Yeah,
A
valley.
valley is
Valley, yeah.
correct. And next slide. I am a small area of water. This one might be harder. I am a small area of water, smaller than a lake. I have fresh water.
A pond.
Pond.
You
Pond.
said pond. Good job. It's a pond. You can show the
Yeah.
picture of a pond. There it is. It's small, smaller than a lake.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
let's
It's
Yes.
always smaller than lake.
it's smaller than a lake. Good vocabulary. Let's go to the next one. I am very large with lots of animals and plants inside of me. I cover most of the Earth's surface, 71% to be exact. What am I?
Water. Ocean. Water.
Ocean. Let's see if you're right.
Yes.
Yep, the ocean. 71% of the Earth is the ocean. Let's go to the next slide. I am formed from a flowing river, moving away sand and dirt. I am deep cut into the earth with tall, steep walls. So formed by a river, tall, steep walls. What is it?
Well.
What was it? Did you say canyon? Let's see if that's
Well.
right.
Yes.
Canyon. Do you know of some canyons nearby to where you live?
Ma'am, what is canyon?
Okay. All right, let's go to the next slide. I am the tallest landform. I rise high into the sky, way above the hills. I am a mountain. And we
Cloud
don't
also.
say mountain, we say mountain. Mountain. Nice job. Let's see if there's any more. I think this was the last one. Oh, there's one more. This is a hard one. See if you can figure it out. I am a large flat area of land and I am covered in grass. And it
Meadows?
starts
Grassland.
plain. Did you say
Grassland.
plain?
A plane.
Plain.
Yeah.
A plane.
Plain. Like Africa is known for its plains, okay? And when there's two vowels in English, the first one is the one that you say. So plain, okay? And plain, right. Okay, let's go to the next slide. So these are the essential questions today. We're talking about volcanoes. What is a volcano? What determines the way a volcano erupts? How do scientists classify volcanoes? We'll find out there's 3 different kinds. And how do volcanoes change Earth's surface? So let's go to the next slide. Here's a cross section of the Earth. You can see there's a molten inner core, an outer core, there's a mantle, and there's a crust. So let's go to the next slide. And the glossary is igneous rocks. And I would really like it if Shivansh could read what an igneous rock. What does igneous mean?
Igneous means rock that has solid filled from lava or magma.
Solidified.
So very good, solidified. Good. You're looking here at some of the volcanic rocks that we might see that some of them are granite. You probably
Ma'am, like granite and obsidian.
Granite and obsidian, very good. And the one in the middle is called pumice, and it is light. And sometimes people use it to rub on their skin to get rid of calluses. So granite,
It is also
obsidian,
the only rock that floats on water, no, ma'am?
100%, Dash, yeah. And I even have seen it floating down a river because I live by one of the world's most famous volcanoes called Mount St. Helens. So when it erupted, we had pumice coming out of our mountain in Washington State. Another one
It
on
would be beautiful, you know, ma'am.
Pardon me?
A mountain. There would be a beautiful like view from near that volcano. It just
100
foggy and all the smoke coming out and
Oh, amazing. You're right. Just amazing. Next to the pumice on the left-hand side, the pumice is in the center. So on that same row on the left-hand side is one of the most common, and we call it basalt. And it's also a volcanic rock. So let's go to the igneous rock, excuse me. Let's go to the next. So glossary and Matrix, can you read today for us?
Yes, ma'am. Magma versus lava. Magma is found in the center of the earth. When a volcano releases magma, we then call it a lava.
The lava, yes, good job. Okay, next slide, please. So here's the three types of volcanoes. And Unari, can you please read the three types?
Sure, ma'am. Shield, cinder cone, and composite.
Okay, so let's go to the next slide. And Dutch, can you read this?
Yes, ma'am. Types of volcano. There are three types of volcano: shield, cinder cone, composite. They are classified by how they form.
Okay, cool. We'll learn more about that. Let's go to the next slide. A cinder cone volcano. And let's go to Shivansh.
Yes, ma'am. Sender is the word that means something left after it was burned. Cone is a word for the shape that is pointed at one end and round at the other, like a ice cream cone.
Okay, so this is like an ice cream cone upside down. The top would be broken out, and in the middle is lots of basically cinders or ash. And it's not as tall as a mountain that has snow on the peaks. Most of the time it's a little bit smaller, but it's been formed by a volcano. Let's go to the next slide. So Maitri, can you read the next, please?
Yes, ma'am. A shield volcano has steep slopes and runny lava that goes down the sides of a mountain.
So in this case, the lava is thin enough to really flow. Not all volcanoes have that flowing lava, but a shield volcano will. Very common in Hawaii. That's the type of volcano they have. And let's go to the next slide. Okay, and this is a composite volcano, a strata volcano. Next slide, please. And I'm going to ask Sir to please play this news clip about the Mount St. Helens eruption. This is the one that I lived through. It's near to me. If I was to drive in my car to Mount St. Helens, it's probably 3 hours from my house. So not that far away, but far enough to be safe, of which I'm glad. Can you click on the link at the bottom, please?
Ma'am,
One
the
cigarette
before
will
slide.
cost you 20 rupees, which is going to kill
Hold
you.
on.
But you can join my workshop.
Can you can you pause the video, sir? Because Unnati had a question. Yeah,
Yes.
Unnati?
So, ma'am, I was asking, before this, there was a slide which showed there's a mountain and something like fog coming out.
Mhm.
That is the
What
plume
is the
of
name of that mountain?
that is a plume of ash that came out from the earth. And that was the first part of the volcano. Not all volcanoes have lava that flows down. Shield volcanoes do. But you'll find out when you watch this video that Mount St. Helens was mostly a big explosion of gray ash that came out. So let's take a look at the video. It's the 40-year anniversary of 1980. So this was filmed in 2020.
Tomorrow that the biggest of big bangs rocked the Pacific Northwest. Luke Burbank takes us back.
May 17th, 1980. 40 years ago today was a beautiful day on the mountain in Southwest Washington. It was also the most significant day of Carolyn Dreicher's life. She and a colleague had traveled to the active volcano Mount St. Helens to drop off equipment at a U.S. geological station. They planned to stay the night, but geologist David Johnston, tasked with monitoring the mountain, warned them against it.
He said, let's just have as few people here as possible. We were very disappointed that we were not going to spend the night looking at this beautiful volcano. The sun was just starting to set. we stopped and I took a couple of last photos of Mount St. Helens.
The very next morning at 8:32 a.m., Mount St. Helens erupted.
They are calling it the most violent eruption of this volcano in 32,000 years.
The energy that came out of Mount St. Helens that day is bigger than any nuclear weapon that we have in our arsenal.
Steve Olson is the author of a book about it.
The whole northern flank of the volcano collapsed into this valley that was between us, and that let out this burst of pressure that had been building up inside the volcano.
The blast triggered the largest landslide in recorded history and flattened trees for 220 square miles with a cloud of smoke, ash, and pumice. In all, 57 people died.
It was the first clear weekend that had happened in the year 1980. And so a lot of people in the surrounding area simply made plans to come out and go camping and hiking. They weren't even watching the volcano necessarily.
2 exclusion zones had been set up to try to keep people safe while still allowing Weyerhaeuser logging trucks to harvest timber off the side of the mountain.
There were a lot of people that owned property up here that wanted to be able to get to their property, and geologists would issue warnings saying, no, we think the volcano is too dangerous.
No, sir, this is the road closed.
Then, as now, debate raged over whether to protect people's livelihoods or their lives.
They have to put a roadblock up just to keep the tourists out. What do they expect us to survive on? If it's so dangerous here, why are we still here? And I just don't, I think the whole thing is just ridiculous.
Ridiculously deadly, it would turn out. In fact, scientists had even drawn up new, larger boundaries, which might have saved lives. But the plans sat on then-Governor Dixie Lee Ray's desk unsigned, as she attended a rhododendron festival.
In fact, all but 3 of the people who were killed in the eruption were outside of the danger zones that had been established.
When the volcano erupted, 1,500 feet of the mountain vaporized in seconds in a violent, superheated cloud of debris, killing people as far away as 20 miles. I think people would think a cloud of dust and debris, you know, doesn't seem that dangerous.
Yeah, this was more than a cloud. It was more like a stone hurricane, essentially. A hurricane made up of pulverized stone that was moving with such force that it could just knock down anything in its path.
One of the first to die, geologist David Johnston. It turns out he hadn't planned to be on the mountain that day. He was filling in for his colleague, Don Swanson.
He had taken my place on Saturday night.
In the 45 seconds before the cloud hit, he was able to radio out one last warning, telling the Vancouver monitoring station, "This is it." His body has never been found.
David Johnson, where you can see those trees down there that are cut off flat, he was in an area that had been logged so that he had a clear view of the volcano and could monitor it from that ridge.
In the end, the only reason there wasn't a greater loss of life was that it was a Sunday, so fewer people were working on and around the mountain. Today, trees and wildlife are returning to Mount St. Helens. But 40 years later, in the midst of a different kind of catastrophe, it's hard not to wonder if we've learned all we could have from that sunny Sunday in 1980.
Sunday morning, 24 hours
So
a day.
thank you. Any thoughts on that you would like to share with the group?
Yes, ma'am. You're asking me?
Anyone? Yeah, sure.
Yes, Maitri or anyone from the group?
What are your thoughts, sir, on that
My
volcano?
thought is, ma'am, the person who has jeopardized his life, he should not have gone so close when the volcano is active. Sometime what happened in the passion of some research or some extraordinary work, people they put their life in danger. It should not be done.
Yeah.
Though we came to know about that information, and but he lost his life.
Yeah. It's so sad, right? A
Yeah.
young man like that, and just
Yes.
loving his profession and loving
Yeah.
being studying volcanoes.
If
So
if he would be
anyway,
alive, he could have done a lot of other researches also. He could have brought so
could.
many great information.
I agree.
Yeah.
So anyone else got something to say? Well, it's pretty amazing, isn't it? Mother Earth, we call it, is very
Yeah.
active, and we'll learn some more about volcanoes. Let's go to the next slide.
The only good thing is that it was a Sunday, so there were like
Ah.
many fewer people there around. Yeah.
Yeah, Maitri, well said. And honestly, one other thing they did not bring out in the video was the volcano did not go straight up in the air. It actually blew out the side of the mountain, which they hadn't seen before. And because it blew out the side of the mountain, it went to the northeast where there were no cities. Had it gone straight up in the air with that force, the mud flow would have come down off the mountain and probably destroyed a city. So we were very fortunate that it blew out the side as well. So this is just we don't have to read it, but if you look under on the right-hand side, sir, can you cursor over the word volcanoes on the right-hand side of this?
Yeah.
Over farther, clear to the edge, more to the right-hand side.
Yeah.
Farther over on the edge of this slide. Anyway,
Okay.
under volcanoes
Yeah.
by location, we'll see 86 in Alaska. There's 19 in Hawaii, 14 in Oregon, 12 in California, 7 in Washington, and so on. So the Pacific coast of the United States is part of the Ring of Fire, just as Indonesia is. So where two plates come together, oftentimes there will be volcanic eruptions. And that's what this is about. So let's go to the next slide. And I believe that it is Manaf. If you can be with us and maybe read that. Hotspot. What is a hot spot?
Ma'am, 1 minute. Someone is came. 1 minute.
You want to skip? Okay. Matrix,
No.
can you read that?
No, ma'am. No, I am
Oh,
reading.
Manaf. Okay, sorry, I didn't hear you.
A place deep.
Oh, your camera is off, man.
Yes. A place deep within the earth where hot magma is to just
underneath
the surface, creating a bleak
Bulge.
volcano.
Bulge.
But volcano activity, see volcano, the chain of
Hawaiian.
Hawaiian Island.
Hawaiian Islands, yeah.
Is that island, see Hawaii.
Good.
Hawaii is to fruit.
Is thought.
Fruit to
Thought.
thought to have been created.
Created.
Were created by the mountains of the tectonic plates over a hotspot.
So our Earth is like you can think of our Earth as solid land floating on pudding on it. So the Earth is always shifting, and where two plates come together, that's a hot spot. Let's go to the next slide. So here is a hot spot that we're going to learn about. Luckily, it has never erupted, but the Yellowstone Hotspot, can you see that, sir? And maybe on where the Yellowstone Hotspot, we would really not like it to erupt, and we're going to find out why. It would be bad. Let's go to the next slide. The blast zone would take away much of the United States. It's so massive. A Yellowstone volcano will not likely erupt for another 1 million years, but like with Mount St Helens, you never know. Let's go to the next slide. And let's go ahead and look at the video here. The Yellowstone at the very bottom, just the super volcano.
How long the video? We have lost
Yeah, just the one.
2.5 minutes.
What's that? Oh,
What is
2.5 minutes?
duration? What is the duration of the video?
Yeah, let's just stop and start up again. Let's stop now and start up again.
Yeah, okay. Okay. Just